while we wait for the others to come in, can you guys just give these questions a try real quick?
Jacob is also going to be a little late. Like, he's just like, he'll be coming in maybe 15 minutes late.
No problem. That's fine. And please also have a calculator by your side. If you have it, TI-84. Andrew, did you see Ronit? Okay. What's up?
We have a sub app.
Yes.
So would that be just now you just do
The
that?
last number.
Okay.
Yep. Unless you see that ... thing, yeah, just assume that whatever you see is the last number. Did anyone like stepped outside during the lunch? Is it like really warm outside?
Yeah.
Like yesterday?
Yeah.
So I would try to go play basketball in one of those courts outside. It was packed with people. I had to try 3 different courts. I still couldn't find anything. Yeah.
So like since we know that is based on that, but we know that n equals 5.
That's right. Great job. Have your homework out in front of you so I can come around and check it, please. Other common ratio. Oh, okay. Do you have to? Okay. And just you don't have a calculator with you, just please have it out so that because we're going to be utilizing this a lot today. And I hope you found that these questions here are pretty much similar to what we talked about last time. Yesterday, we left on this note to verify whether this formula really works or not, and just to add up all those four numbers. And for these, it's pretty much the same. I'm hoping that none of you guys just did this, which you obviously could totally do so, but that's just a way for you to check your answer. Yesterday, the summation is the first term times 1 minus r to the power of n over 1 minus r. So you need those three components to figure this out. -2 times 1 minus, I believe the common ratio here would be 6 to the power of 5 over 1 minus 6. So I'm going to type that into our calculator, -2, 1 minus 6 to the 5th power. Then divide that by 1 minus 6, which is obviously -5. Can I get a little nod for that? -3,110. Hopefully that is the case here. And Ron, just have your homework on in front of you. Okay. And -2, 6, -1854, -162. Wyatt, could you just tell me what the answer you got? -122, you said? Okay. Believe it's this over 1 minus -3. And yesterday, if you guys have that on your paper, that's great. If you typed it in your calculator as like, oh, I see double negatives and do a plus sign, in which I have seen some of those cases, that is not what I would like for you to do. Please have your parentheses around this -3 to indicate to tell the calculator, hey, take the common ratio as -3, and then just multiply accordingly. So if I just do this real quick, -3 to the power of 5, and then divide that by 1 plus 3. 61 times -2. Yep, -122 is absolutely correct. Okay. You have it on picture?
Yeah.
Can you send it to me to Schoology then instead?
Yes.
Okay. No, I'm gonna check through Schoology then. Yep, that's fine. Any questions about these guys? Today we're just gonna practice geometric series, and I'm also gonna give you several word problems. This is not accurate, but we're gonna read this. I'm gonna read this out loud for you. I was watching like Fox News, and we were talking about they were talking about vaccines and how it's related, like smallpox and disease and things like that. How they eradicated smallpox back in 1980s. So on March 10th, 2020, about a year ago, well, exactly a year ago, when this whole COVID thing started, and we started doing this, in schools, virtual sessions and things and whatnot. On average, an infected person with virus COVID-19 can spread it to 3 people each day. Now, this is not accurate, but let's just assume for the sake of the question that's the case. If this trend were to continue, how many people will be infected in total? Okay, assuming that no vaccines, no social distancing, and no protocols were taken to lessen the number. So let's say, for example, I am patient 0. I have COVID-19. I spread it to Daniel, Wyatt, and Noah. Okay, and those 3 will spread it to other 3 as of their own, and then 3s more, and so on and so on and so on. So the question is, these 3, where I ask you, how many people we infected in total on March 11, 2020? Well, that's the very next day. March 17th, which is a week after that, and April 10th, which is a month from that time. Okay. Remember, we're talking about how many people were going to be infected in total. Read the question. Try to do this on your own. Just give it a try, and then we'll talk about it. Yes, Ronit? A of 1 will be 1 because it's me. Right. Day 1. Okay. And that one person will spread it to 3 people. And that's day 2. The sum should be yes, because I still have the disease. Let's just say this disease will never go away, presumably.
on March 10th be day one, or like what month?
March 11th will be day 2. Yeah. I'm gonna write the summation formula for you guys here. Oh, that's arithmetic, my fault. Is this the you're using formula to find out like how many people but that is actually to find the number of total. So I guess that's what you're doing here. I'm not sure. Are these your answers? 3, 2, 7, no. Oh no, that's arithmetic, right? Geometric I wrote it for you. But that's what we learned yesterday. Yeah. Is this one correct? Or is it wait, why is it 40? How many days in March? Just 30. Right. So this here, that's so if that's 31 days after that, the n should be 32 for this, because that's n is equal to 1, and this n is 31 days after that, so it should be n is equal to 32. That's what yeah, it's because the common ratio here is this the one? No, that's the one. Why do you have this 2? 1 minus 3, not 3 in the denominator. 1 minus 1. Then a day, 1 day after, you put n is 2, right? March 17th is 7 days after, so yeah, big number. Right? If you answer the third question, it doesn't make sense because there's not that many human populations anyways. Okay. That's what 7 billion would be 0.000000000. So that's way much more than the world population itself. But I just want you to see for yourself in the beginning, like arithmetic is really kind of boring in a way, because every single, like if I said the same thing where every day, like there's 3 more patients being permitted into the hospital, like 3 every single time more, then you will not see this gigantic increase in numbers. Only if it's like geometric, if it's a question like this, then you will see for yourself how ridiculous it's going to get after only about a month. Like I infect 3 people and assuming that keeps on that continues to happen, okay, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. In all these 3 cases, you're just using the formula just 3 times. But what's important is that you understand what n value is. We all know what the first number is, right? I told you it was 1. We all know what the common ratio is r is equal to 3. But the n number for this one is 2 because that's the second day after the infection has started. When day 1, I have 1 person. Day 2, I have 3 people. Just for that specific day, that newly infected people. But in total, it should be 4. And by plugging into the formula here also, I get 1 times 1 minus 3 to the power of 2 over 1 minus 3. That's what you need to type into the calculator. Okay, the first term, 1 minus r to the power of 2, 1 minus r. The same way, 1 times 1 minus 3 to the power of 8 here over 1 minus 3. Now, why in the world is it 8? Well, it's because it's a week after. It's 7 days after the first day. 7 days after that is technically day number 8. Therefore, the answer to this should be 3,280. Yes, can I get a verification on that? And the last one here, obviously, that one is a little bit, just like you're going to get a scientific notation, but that's okay. 1 minus 3 to the power of 32, because that's 31 days after day 1, because there's 31 days in March, over 1 minus 3 times the first term 1. So 1 times 1 minus 3 to the power of 32 divided by negative 2. 9.26 times 10 to the 14. Did you guys learn significant digits in your scientific notation, like science classes? So what I want to tell you is that I don't really care about how much this thing you're gonna go, but to the 100th or 1000th is reasonable for me. Okay. 9.26 times 10 to the 14. That means I have 926 0 people. That's 1,000, million, billion, trillion, 926 trillion. That makes no sense. 926 trillion people will be infected by April 10th. Okay. The whole reason why I'm giving you this is because I just want you guys to get a sense of, in a real world application kind of problems, not that this is anything that's like real, but per se, but a word problem in geometric series that I could throw this at you during your assessment. And I want you to kind of get a sense of like, okay, what do I need to do? How do I figure this out? And there's a formula for you guys right there. I am not giving you this formula for the B-Day students. It doesn't apply to you because you guys can obviously have a computer in front of you so you guys can look it up if you guys forget. But I'm going to ask you to derive, every single one of you. Whatever you took on notes from yesterday, I hope that you guys have it, because I'm also going to give it to you on the study guide once again. Derive it first, and then you're going to use that formula to solve the rest of the questions on the quiz. Yes?
What do you mean by derive it?
Like this, yesterday, what we did. Remember like how I told you that the summation was a sub 1 plus a sub 1r plus a sub 1r squared? You have these notes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so then I showed you how this thing is equal to 1 minus r to the power of n. And then you have to divide by that. And so this entire thing just equals to this, and then there you go.
Okay.
It might be just repetitive thing to write over and over and over again, but I still want you to understand by writing it down where it came from. Any other questions? All right, I'm going to give you several word problems towards the end, but right now I want you to take a look at these 2 problems, and please, let's just get this easy one out of the way. Number 2, -3, -6, -12. Find the summation of the first 9 numbers, please, indicated by this n is equal to 9. I'm assuming that most of you guys are done, which I hope you guys are. Jacob, what's the first term?
-3.
Common ratio is?
2.
Plugging in on the formula, what'd you get for the sum?
1533.
1533, and that should be negative.
All right.
Okay, -3. So if you type this into your calculator, -3, 1 minus, please. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not -2. I'm sorry. So parentheses are on 2, raised to the power of 9, divided by 1 minus 2. I just typed that into the calculator on the TI-84. It just pops it out right away. If you're using like iPhone calculators, obviously you can't do this function, so it's unfortunate. But do you have one of these at home?
I have one at home. I bring it.
Then you can borrow mine back.
I can use my laptop.
What's up?
I can use my laptop.
Just use this. I want you to just have a sense of. Okay. Now I want you to take a look at this problem on the left, but I'm gonna help you with this because it's tough. It's not quite easy. Ace of 1 is 4. R is equal to -2, and ace of n is 1024. And I'm asking you to solve for the summation of the first n numbers. So I still need 3 things. I need ace of 1, which is given to me. I need n, which I have no idea. And then the last thing I need is the common ratio. Oh, I guess I have 2 things right here. So I have 2 things, but I'm looking for n, basically. Does anyone have a guess as to what I should be using here, Jacob? Explicit formula. When in doubt, explicit formula states ace of n. What is the explicit formula, Jacob, for geometric sequences?
Ace of 1 equals ace, or ace of n.
Uh-huh.
Equals ace of 1 times the
Ratio?
and
There we go. Raised to the power of n minus 1. So let's plug everything in, shall we? So 1024 is equal to 4 times common ratio of 2 to the power of n minus 1. Okay, and we're going to be doing some algebra here. Let's see. Daniel, what do you think the next step would be?
I don't.
Not quite sure?
I'm not quite sure.
Okay, so here you have 4x to the power of 2 is equal to 1024. Let's say I give you that. What do you think you should do to get x by itself?
It would be divide by 4 and then square root the x and square root.
That's right. And then you square root it, right? So in the same way, just because I have these little fancy n minus 1s and no x's, just divide by 4 on both sides is still your next step to do. So what you're going to get here is you're going to get 256 is equal to -2, because that cancels out, to the power of n minus 1. And this is where everyone gets stuck, and rightfully so. I haven't taught you logarithms yet. If I gave you logarithms, you guys would know what to do exactly at this point, because that's what you have to do to both sides to get n by itself. But since I haven't really taught you logarithms, unfortunately, you have to do this the hard way. Okay? You will always find that the n is going to be an integer value, yes? N is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and beyond. 256 is going to be a really, really nice number in terms of the fact that it's going to be -2, the same common ratio, okay, as what you have seen on the right-hand side, raised to this power, okay? So what I want you to do is you can do this by trials and errors or get a sense of, okay, -2 in parentheses, type in -2 into the calculator, and try a bunch of numbers that you think that this exponent is going to be. And tell me when one of you guys spot what 256, which number gives you 256. -2 raised to the power of this gives you a positive 256. Run it?
oh, positive.
Right, because it's got to be in parentheses.
Oh, sorry. To the 8.
To the 8th. Everybody, if you guys type in -2 in parentheses, please, to the 8th power, you guys get 256, yes? Okay. So do I have to do this all the time right now? Yes, unfortunately, that is the best way that I can help you approach this type of question. So you say -2 to the 8th power, which is the same thing as saying positive 256 because it's an even power. It's going to be the same thing as -2 to the power of n minus 1. I might have to just move this down a little bit further because we're not ready to solve for this yet. All right, so if rewriting this, -2 to the power of 8th power is equal to -2 to the power of n minus 1. What do you guys think I should do next? Oh, you got it. But how did you get 9 real quickly?
Well, I mean, if it has to be 8, I just know like 9 minus 1 is 8.
9 minus 1 is 8, right? So you set the exponents equal to each other. So 8 is equal to n minus 1. add the 1 on both sides, and n is equal to 9. Well, obviously, if you can just kind of think of like, just like mental math, you get n is equal to 9. So there we go. I have n is equal to 9 from that work right there. And then you can find the summation by doing the following. 4 times 1 minus negative 2 to the power of 9 power over 1 minus negative 2. I don't have a calculator, so someone do that for me and tell me what the answer is. It should be a big positive number, that's for sure. The last term is 1,000.
Yeah.
So it's got to be way more than 1,000. Make sure you have negative 2 parenthesized. I did not say Siri. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait, why? Did you say 684?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I just completely forgot that the common ratio was negative 2. That means you have all these negative numbers in between. My apologies.
Yeah,
I'm
I
so
thought it
sorry.
sounded weird too.
684 is correct. Yes. There's no way. Yeah. What? Oh. That was my fault. Okay, so if I give you this type of question on like, today's homework, just please understand what you must be done. 256 is something that you have to set it equal to the base number as to what I like to call it as the other side, which is negative 2. On the other example, in which I'm not going to ask you to solve for, but by the way, first of all, do I have any questions about this? Like, let's say, for example, I gave you something like that. 8,748 is equal to 4 times the common ratio, which is 3, raised to the power of n minus 1. You divide this by 4 and you get 2,000 something equals to 3 to the n minus 1. I'm just going to do it real quick here. 8,748 divided by 4. 2,187. 2,187, guys, has to be 3 to some power. Okay, that is what you need to find out using your calculator by trials and errors. And then you set those two things equal to each other, okay, to solve for n. I'm also going to put this on the homework question here just to give you the idea. I have 10 minutes left with you, and I want to end on this note. Okay, we're going to try this word problem here. You have won contest sponsored by a local radio station. If you're given a choice of the 2 payment plans listed below, there's so many different variations of this version of the questions. Like you have 2 banks or you have 2 companies to invest in. One company gives you this and the other company gives you that. Which one has a higher return for you at the end of whatever? So this one has 2 payment plans. How much more would would you like to choose A or B? Obviously, you want to choose the one that gives you a higher return at the end, right? Because we're living in a capitalist world and we want to have as much capital as possible. So plan A. You have $1 on the first day, $2 on the second day, and $3 on the third day. I think you guys all get the pattern here. For 2 weeks, for 14 days. That's plan A. Plan B, you start with a penny. Then you get 2 pennies on the second day. Then you get 4 pennies. Then you get 8 pennies and so on until the 14 days. Before you do, guys, any work, raise your hand if you think A will have a higher return. That's generally well, I was hoping to see a lot more hands because quite honestly, you're starting with $1 versus a penny. So obviously first our instinct should be to say, oh, A is going to pay us more. But the answer here would be B. Try for yourselves. Okay. You start with a penny. That's the beauty of geometric series. Geometric is so much better because we're getting multiplied instead of being added.
Always looking how much you get in 2 weeks.
In total, because like if you on the second day you'll have $3 in total, just to give you an example, because it's 1 plus 2. It's series.
Oh, it would be. Just two.
in total.
Oh, my bad. I thought it was.
That's the end of 14 days.
Yeah.
Alright,
14th day. Good job. A for A. 105. Bro, you kidding me? Is it $8,000? That's weak. For Plan B, yeah. $8,000. What's your common ratio? That's correct. You set up here is correct, but then I don't know if you're all at this stuff. Oh, no, that's because 1 minus negative. Or -1. -1, right? But that should be even higher. Make it higher. 1 minus 2 to the power of the cell is 15. But did you multiply this by this? Oh, no, I didn't. The first number you have to multiply. There it is. Remember the arithmetic chapter. First and last times n divided by 2. If I want to plug all in, how do I get the fraction again? How do I get what? Oh, just type it like this. If you type in the numerator first, okay, just open up parentheses and just keep on doing it.
Wait, what's your difference? Hey, I don't know, it's so small. 163.3.
Oh, okay. You just type everything in.
I'm stuck.
There we go.
There it is. That's right.
Yes, and yes.
Yeah. Let's go.
What does it say? 14. 14 plus 1.
So good. What happened?
And the comment is that you did arithmetic, right? So you got 14. Yeah. So it is. But you're talking about series. Jacob, you're talking about you did explicit formula. That was the problem. Remember this?
Yeah, man.
Yesterday, Monday's history lesson.
14.
You gotta use that. So 14.
Yeah.
Gotta do summation with that, right? Okay, so to sum up, we have the summation of arithmetic series for part A. Okay, so if you plug in all the correct numbers here, there are 14 days in 2 weeks. And so n is 14 divided by 2. And I have the first term as $1. And the last term should be $14 at the end of 14th day or on the 14th day. Because if you keep on adding by ones, obviously 14th day, $14. 7 times 15, 105. So I have $105 at the end. For part B, the summation is a sub 1 times 1 minus r to the n over 1 minus r, as we've been doing many, many times before. The first term is 0.01, the penny, times 1 minus the common ratio here, which is 2, raised to the power of n, which is 14 over 1 minus 2. When you guys type that in, is it 168 point, what is it? 163.83 dollars. Therefore, Plan B pays a lot more. Just one more thing. If you guys even take a look at the fact that if you use geometric sequence for this right here, part B, generally speaking, a lot of the students or just in person in general, they would go for part A just because of how it's structured. You start with $1 for crying out loud versus a penny. And then eventually, when you think about it after 14th day, you think that Plan A should make a lot more sense to choose. But even if you do explicit formula, at the end of just on the 14th day, how much you earn? 0.01 times the common ratio of 2 raised to the power of 14. If you guys type that into the calculator, I believe you get around $86 by doing that. So just on the 14th day, it kind of is on par with the summation of all those dollars that you earn in the 14 days when you choose Plan A. I'm going to show you graphically this as well. These are the two graphs of both arithmetic and geometric here. What you see on the left in purple is your arithmetic sequence explicit formula. You have the first term as $1 plus the common difference times n minus 1. Instead, I'm going to use x minus 1. Are we okay with that? Then I have this geometric sequence explicit formula. First term, common ratio to the power of n minus 1. If you guys travel along this line right here, yes, in the beginning, you will be losing a lot of money comparing to plan A. But suddenly it has this little spike up that says, okay, on the 14th day, I can't really draw a line, but on the 14th day, which is right here, look at where the purple line is. You're only earning $14, whereas compared to where the black line is shooting up all the way to the sky. Okay? So that is why exponential growth is scary. It's going to get you really, really big numbers, and I don't want you to panic if you did something wrong. If you get scientific notation answers, that's okay. It should give you a large, large number here. Okay? So word problems, solving much more difficult geometric series is the topic for today. I hope I gave you enough practice in terms of that, and that's the homework for what you guys are going to be working on. Okay? All right. Thanks very much, guys.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem. Thanks.
So happy. I'm getting more.
You're just kind of like,
Or you
do something.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely.